Hello again, everybody. Hey, on this video I want to talk about putting some weight in a car. And we're basically just going to be working with this stuff called liquid gravity from Deluxe Materials. And we'll get into that a little bit more. But I just want to show you, I collect all kinds of metal pieces to put weight into cars. And, I don't even know what this is. It was in a box of stuff once. It feels like lead. It almost looks like a train wheel. I'm not sure what that is. And, this is a broken zipper pull on a heavy-duty jacket I had, but it's got some little heft to it. Right here's some fishing weights. This is from those Pine Derby cars for Boy Scouts. You can find those usually like even Michael's or Hobby Shop. And you can cut, see it's got a little section, you can cut that for weight. I bought some of that. This is also for a Pine Derby car. This doesn't have much heft to it, but you see the lines you can just almost snap with your fingers and glue that in. And Harbor Freight has these wheel weights, for cars. They got a 1/4 ounce and a 1/2 ounce. And these are nice because they have the foam backing and it's self-adhesive. You just peel this off, this blue, and it sticks really nicely. So inside a box car or gondola, you could easily put that in. With a gondola, you could put scrap on, or you just use metal scrap in a gondola to add, put weight. So I got, like I said, I have all kinds of things that I collect to add weight, or if I find laying around. And also, I like to use goo when gluing metal to plastic. You put this on both sides of the material you're going to use. Let it sit for about 3 seconds, so it kind of attacks the plastic and adheres to the metal. And you squish it together. And I have pretty good luck with that. I know some guys like using silicone or whatever, but that's just what I do. So let's look at this one car I've got to put some weight into. Now, I've always wanted this car. And I believe AHM makes it. There's no name on the bottom. And this thing is so light. It's crazy. Has no weight whatsoever. And I did upgrade it by putting Walters metal wheels and metal axles. I put, had Talgo couplers, they're attached to the trucks. Cut that off. Tapped it and put a Katy coupler box in with metal screws. And there's metal Katy couplers. And that's still light. So in the center section, right here, that is tungsten putty. And sometimes you can find that where they have those Pine Derby cars. You get a little blob of it in a bag. You kind of have to work it with your hands, heat it up. And I smooshed it in there and made it smooth and nice. But this thing is still, we'll put it on the scale, too light. Ideally, a 40-foot car, I know it's debatable. Some people want them heavier, lighter. Just for sake of argument, we're going to say we want to get this close to 4 ounces. It's close to being a 40-foot long car. And you can see it's 1.45. So it's still pretty light. So I've been curious about this stuff. And they had, they have the whole display, Deluxe Materials. So basically what this is, it's just fine metal balls. I think they're just iron because they are magnetic. You can hear it. So we're going to see if we can't put some of those on the bottom of this car, because I thought about putting weight or put an object on top of the deck, but I want to keep the original look of this car. I don't like that brake wheel, it's too big. But let's try just using super glue and this liquid gravity, putting it in 3 of the little wells here. I'll have to take the wheel off and see if that does anything to help us make this a little heftier. It'll be a test to see, how dense this liquid gravity really is. All right, so I got the flat car upside down on the foam cradle here. And hopefully it's pretty flat. I took the wheels off on each side. And I took you take the cap off. And I did cut the top off. That's about the smallest hole. It's not focusing because I don't want to have lead ball or iron balls everywhere. But so let's pour it in. Hopefully it pours nicely into these little crevices and I don't make a mess. Here we go. Whoops. All right, they're going to kind of going everywhere, but we'll just pour them in here, and whichever ones spill over, we'll just collect later. So the idea is you just fill a crevice. You can see they're in there. Come on, focus. We'll add a little more. And like I said, the idea is you fill the, whoops. I feel like I'm trying to put pepper on a potato here. What the heck? All right, I think that's, try to level out a little bit because I don't really want it to be seen. I really don't want to cover up all the, I know you probably don't see it when it's running unless the car derails. But I just want to keep the original look of the car as much as possible. So then we'll take our super glue. That doesn't want to work here. Come on. There we go. Can't get the cap off. And we're going to drip. Get in closer. And the idea is you would just drip the glue in there. This isn't the freshest super glue, so it might be a little thicker. But you put it down in there, this will set the liquid gravity in place. And hopefully the glue just kind of, you know, slowly makes its way down through the whole thing. There we go. Let me get a little toothpick. Just kind of make sure. I might have to go through and put a little more glue in or open up a fresh bottle. It's a little more runny. But there you have. Like I said, the extra ones, I'll just dump them out on like a piece of paper. You know, take a white piece of paper, fold into a V, dump the spare little spare balls into that, and then give it back in the bottle. So let's let that set up and dry. And I'll do the other side, and we'll see what kind of difference this makes. So I did add more, as you can see. Let me zoom in. I filled in more than I wanted to. I was trying to, like, you know, put it between the ribbing. But I put a little bit in and weighed it, and it's like, there's not a whole lot of the liquid gravity in there. And then I opened up another bottle of Gorilla Glue, fresh bottle, and it, you know, and what I was doing was put the balls in, put some glue in, another layer of the liquid gravity, some more super glue, just to lock it all in place. But I could add in, you know, more. It could really fill in the whole bottom and get the effect I want, but I just don't feel like doing that. And if you look at the scale here, move stuff around quick. Remember, when we started, the car was at 1.45, and it is now at 1.7. So still under 2 ounces, but you can feel, I mean, I can tell the difference, but I think it's one of those things I'm just going to leave it for now. I mean, the product does what it's supposed to, this liquid gravity. You know, just fills in the small gaps and stuff. And it's nice that it's non-toxic. And I guess, you know what, we'll test it on the test track. We'll put like 10 cars behind this. We'll put this behind the engine. Go back and forth and see if it derails or not, if it's, you know, or string lines or anything like that. Maybe it'll be okay with this weight. I don't know, but we'll see. Okay, so we got the car on the track. And I put 14 cars with a caboose behind it. I just got a bunch of random cars I just put on the track. But that's some good amount of weight to have behind the flat car. So we'll run it backwards and then forwards to see how it behaves when you push against cars and when it's pulling weight behind it. So here we go. We'll put it in reverse first. taking up the coupler slack. So it's staying on. And obviously, ideally, you'd want to be able to test this on curves. You know, some kind of a steep climb, not steep, but somewhat climb. Crossover, switches, you know, stuff like that. But all I have is a straight test track for now. But it's staying on the track. So now we'll stop and go forward, see what it does with weight being pulled behind it. The slack went out in the couplers. And it seems to be doing all right. You know, I try to also keep the weight as low as possible in the car. I think that's beneficial than having high weight, you know, high center of gravity. So, yeah, it seems to be doing okay for now. And, you know, hopefully it keeps performing that way. So, our simple little test there, it performed pretty well. Obviously, you know, not running around in a loop and it's not bouncing around over, you know, turnouts and stuff. But, yeah, I'm pretty happy with this product. I mean, you know, like I said, I could fill more in. I just don't want to. Why isn't that focusing? But, you know, I like how it can be discreet. You know what I'm saying? You're not really seeing. Whoops. And I could put more on if I wanted to, but I don't know. I'm happy with the, you know, the weight that it has now, because I got this, it was less than an ounce. I mean, this car was so light that you'd be afraid to sneeze by it, go flying out in the, you know, wherever. So overall, I'm pretty happy with that liquid gravity. I can see where it would be helpful for filling in, you know, spots that are hard to put weight in. And overall, yeah, it's not a cheap product. I think that bottle was $15 at the Amherst show, but, you know, sometimes $15 is worth it if it, you know, helps fight a headache you have to deal with. So, all right, guys, as always, hey, thanks for watching. And, you know, where you see any kind of train of any kind of description, you never know, I may be standing there. All right, guys, take care.